So in this video, I'm going to show you two quick and easy techniques using the sweeper from Denise. One of them is to create some movement with a pad, and the second one is to create some space between your kick and your bass. This is not like a sponsored post or anything like that. I've been using this plugin since I've had it for quite a while now, and every time I've been writing a project, it's always ended up within one of my arrangements for either one or two of these methods. So I thought if there's information worth sharing, share it. So let's have a look at this project. I've kind of set up a couple tracks. I've got my drums, I've got my bass, and I've got my pad. And what I'm going to do using this pad, so have a quick listen. We're going to add some extra movement, and usually whenever I'm creating a patch, I like to add loads of modulation. I like to use all my envelopes and LFOs to try and get it to move as much as possible, just so it doesn't feel static. In this case, I haven't done so. So I'm going to go to my plugins, I'm going to get my Denise Sweeper, and I'm going to use this to add that movement, which I feel will just kind of create some more character to this pad. So we can see that this is a sweeper right in front of us here. It's pretty simple, it's really easy to use. So what this is, it's an adaptive frequency resonator. So based on the loudness of the input signal dictates the frequency it's going to be at. So we have our start point here, our end point here, and we also have our sidechain on and off. We've got between our two filters, low pass and high pass. We have our different ranges of slope. We can flip the audio. We got our input, our resonance, output, attack, bias, and release. What the bias does, it just kind of tweaks the loudness of the input signal, just so you can kind of tweak the frequency point. So let's have a quick listen to what it does just slapped on. So we saw that as soon as the signal went in, the frequency just opened up straight away. So what I'm going to do to create this extra movement, I'm going to use the sidechain function, and I'm going to use a loop which I already have on some Blue Peter vibe. So let me solo this. So here's a little drum loop I'm going to use. And I've left the output off because I don't want the audio from this drum loop. I just want all the percussion sounds, all just to create this extra movement, this extra rhythm onto this pad. So if I go to the sidechain, I'm going to set it to my drum loop, and then I'm going to turn sidechain on, and then as soon as I hit play, we'll start seeing our sweeper move to the rhythm of our drum loop. Nice. So from here, all you got to do is start tweaking to taste. So I might change my start position up here. I have my end position back down here. Bring the resonance down a touch. I don't want it to be too obvious. I want this to be a bit more subtle. I don't want it to kind of feel that as you can hear before, it being really wishy-washy. I'm going to leave the release how it is, but I'm going to turn the attack up. Let's have a listen from here. I'm going to tweak the bias just a touch. Just changed my slope. And from here, like I said, you're just kind of tweaking to taste. You know, you might want your release to be a bit shorter. You might want that rhythm to be a bit more obvious, or you might even turn the release up even more. And there we go. Straight away, just added just a little bit more movement to my pad. And then, this doesn't have to be limited to like a drum loop. This can be anything. You can use like a field recording, you can use vocals, you can use a melody, you can use the drum signal from already in your arrangement so that your pad is moving in sync with the drums within your track. This is just an idea which I've been kind of using with some of my stuff. And yeah, don't be afraid to experiment and use other sources to control your sidechain and your frequency. So the next method is what I kind of do on my mixing stage when I finish my arrangement and I start mixing on a track, is to create some space between the kick and the bass. So let's have a quick little listen to the loop I have here. Cool. So same sort of thing again. We're going to use the sidechain function of our sweeper. So let's get a sweeper up, and I'm going to set this to my kick. I'm going to turn sidechain on. The difference is this time I'm going to change this to high pass, and I'm going to bring my start all the way down to about 30 hertz. I'm going to bring my end to around 120. I'm going to bring my resonance down. I'm going to change my filter slope to about 24. Let's have a listen from here. So we can see that like the kick signal is activating our sweeper, but you might have noticed that there was a bit where my kicks kind of like tripled up, and yeah, it just wasn't reacting quick enough. So again, to kind of tweak that, I'm going to just bring my release down just so that it's a bit more responsive and the sweeper gets back to its start position a lot quicker. And then you can kind of just tweak your start and end point. Usually I kind of have my resonance a lot lower. I leave my attack the way it is, and I could even just make the slope a bit steeper if you wanted to. And there you go. So straight away, I'm creating some space for my kick drum to kind of come in between this respace that I've made, so that it's not getting swallowed and drowned out by all the frequencies in that low end. And like I said, this is something I do once I start mixing down my track. I've been using this since I've had the sweeper. This has been my go-to. Before, if you're a seasoned producer, you might know sidechain compression, and that's what I used to do. And then from then I used to sidechain a multiband, and now this is my go-to when it comes to mixing my kicks and my bass together. So give it a go. Check out the sweeper. It's cheap. It's only 23 euros, and yeah, there you go. Sorted.